Would you rather have your mail delivered by the owls from Harry Potter, like Hedwig, or by Postman Pat?
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van.
Oh, and I have a special surprise for you all. This is my Jess the Cat right here. Yeah, and before we begin today's review, I just wanted to uh, prayer for Florida, and I can't even imagine what they're going through with Hurricane Hella and the extreme storms they've been having throughout September and October. I just pray the storms soon subside and everybody there is okay, and can soon get their homes back. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, how can you not love that catchy theme song? It's been so long, I am now ready to dive in. Postman Pat, so the original animated British TV show that has currently run on British television from 1981 to 2017. So wow, we've had 7 years without a Postman Pat season. I mean, hard to believe. And has lasted for 8 seasons and a total of 184 episodes, and has even spawned spin-offs and even a movie which sucked balls. But I'm mostly here to talk about and share my thoughts on the first 2 seasons back in the original Postman Pat era, when the show was at its peak, back when the magic was very much running through the show's veins. Postman Pat tells the story of taking place in the village of Greendale in northern England, where the lovable village postman, Pat Clifton, not only makes daily postal deliveries to his pals in Greendale with his black and white cat Jess, but also is a beloved hero in the village of Greendale, often resolving problems and even being a husband to his wife Sarah and father to son Julian. It's as simple as this. Yeah, Postman Pat is a perfect Pat. It's one of the single greatest British animated shows ever invented. This show is state of the art. This show is British animation on a top form, and my mum, she found it magical in her childhood when she would watch this show at her granny's, my great granny. So I thank my mum with all my heart for showing me and my sister a Postman Pat in our childhood too. And I was convinced as a kid that our postman who delivered all our letters was from Postman Pat, even though we lived in southern England and not anywhere closer to the likes of Greendale, but still, yeah, and I and even as a soon-to-be 29-year-old man, I am not bored of Postman Pat at all. And to me, the first 2 seasons of Postman Pat, before the show would become overly franchised and just a little too modern, they are Postman Pat in its prime, not Postman Pat the movie. One of some of the very first stop motion British animation at that time, like Bagpuss too, and we Brits do stop motion better than any other country in the world of animation. I mean, this was before Aardman would give us Wallace and Gromit, and the stop motion puppetry in this show is flawlessly outstanding at every single frame of it, and the simplicity of it is, particularly in the earlier seasons, is what gives it all of the more heart and all the more charm. Uh, yeah, making this one of the most wholesome TV experiences you will ever have. Sure, the mouths of the characters don't move in the earlier seasons, but that works out just fine. You can read the character's body language like a book, and Jess in the first two seasons, he was yeah. Cute as a button. I have lived with uh, three black and white cats in my lifetime. Tigger and Boots were the first two, and then Merlin was my first, and Merlin looked exactly like Jess. Pat is one of the warmest and most humanized and relatable protagonists in a British TV show in general. He commits to his duties as a postman regardless of the weather conditions in Greendale every single day without fail, and regardless of what obstacles come his way. I love how this show shows that the life of a postman is harder than you would think, and plus Mrs. Goggins has to be my personal favourite character. Pat would visit her shop in practically every single episode of the first two seasons, and I heard the latest seasons either completely wasted her or didn't include her, which was a great insult because Mrs. Goggins, she is the heart of the show, and she's like Pat's a warm and friendly grandmother. And I had no idea at the time, but the voice actors of this show are so versatile. They voice more than one character. Like one voice actor could voice up to 5 characters at once, and they just have to put on it a Northern English voice, like a cup of tea, Chuck. But they do such a phenomenal job, you don't even know it's the same voice actor. Greendale looks absolutely terrific, and it's a village in the countryside I certainly could see myself living in when I retire someday. And they show Greendale at different seasons and different times of years. There's even a Postman Pat Christmas special, which is pretty fantastic. Oh, and the theme song of this show and the soundtrack needs no introduction. The opening theme and opening credits to Postman Pat's some of the most instantly recognizable and immediately iconic, stuck in your head openings to any British TV show. Like this is like the circle of life of British TV animation, and I will never forget this opening theme for the rest of my days. So yeah, overall, Postman Pat is a true quality family television. At least the first two seasons. The later seasons may not age as well, but the first two seasons in the Postman Pat golden age. I mean, I feel bad for any kids that didn't get this show in their childhood.
I give Postman Pat 5 stars out of 5. Best TV show ever.
So yeah, I will totally have to show my future children someday the original Postman Pat, and because this show will hold up for uh, dozens of generations to come. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this review. And what are your thoughts on Postman Pat, the TV show? Do I even need to ask. Please comment and let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time, where I continue my Until Dawn playthrough. And next week I will get to see The Wild Robot as it finally does come to UK cinemas. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.